Oh, here we go. Last chance, last turn for Ace Hood. You ready? Let's go. Hello, everyone. It's the Gray Goose, and today normally we would run a 4 or 5 color card deck because it's Saturday. However, I made some changes to what we could see on Saturdays to also include potentially a monocolor variant, because what I'm realizing from our Monday through Friday random deck list is that the monocolors are being severely underrepresented. The dual colors have twice the chance of a monocolor as being shown, and the tricolors have 3 times the chance. So say for example mono red, well, you would only see mono red potentially only on Thursdays, whereas you could see something like Rule, which is red and green, on a Thursday or a Friday. So I thought I would include mono as being an option for me to make a deck of on Saturdays. It's still not a perfect system. I'm learning as I go. I do want to get a true version of like random decks with weighted options and stuff. More in the future. I'm working on that. But for the meantime, I just don't want to leave out monocolors either. So I figured I would kick it off with none other than Mono Green Stompy. I've been wanting to play Mono Green Stompy pretty much since Oko got banned, because prior to that I really wanted to include the Great Henge in the deck, but I just didn't feel right playing against an Oko who would +1 to effectively neuter my 9 CMC artifact. That just didn't feel right. And now with Oko gone, among with some other cards being banned recently, I also noticed that there's a little less green hate in specific, and by that I mean Noxious Grasp. A lot of decks still play that, but I don't necessarily see it as a main board option as often, or at the very least I don't see it as a 4 of option from main plus sideboard. So I felt more safe to play mono green now. Plus, I've played against it a little bit in the ladder, and yes, it is powerful. It took me a few tweaks to get it where I want it, but I think I'm getting there. Still some more tweaks could be made, obviously, but let me break it down for you and then we'll get right into some gameplay. So first up, I got 4 of Gilded Goose. We just know in any sort of green, Gilded Goose is great. It provides ramp, it provides food, and the food synergizes with other things in the deck, which we'll get into. It also can block the 1/1 creatures such as the Cauldron Familiar or the Fervent Champion. Pellet Collector, this is a good staple in Mono Green Stompy because he starts off super cheap for a super weak card, but he quickly grows up in threat, especially if your opponent is killing your other major threats around him. He becomes an equal threat as the game goes on. 4 of Paradise Druid, once again another good green ramp option. Maybe you don't necessarily need the 4 of Gilded and 4 of Paradise, but it's where I settled on to try and get some of my more powerful creatures out more fast and consistently. 4 of Lovestruck Beast, just a great synergistic effect with the deck. It can provide 2 creatures, one of them being a 5/5 body, which is great for attacking or blocking. 4 of Thrashing Brontodon. I don't know if 4 main board is the right number, but I still see a large number of artifact and enchantment decks. Plus, he's a good body, 3/4 for 3. It's not too bad. 3 of Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig. So he comes down for 3 green, which you're mono green, so 3 CMC. As a 4/4, so he's pretty powerful to begin with, and then any other green creatures that come down at all, he's upticking from there on out. 3 of Questing Beast. I think having 3 is a good number. I think it could be ±1 depending, but just to have haste on a green creature body is strong enough. Plus the fact that he can go through any creatures that are 2 or less power means you get to apply his damage to all except for the highest power creatures out there, and at that point you're killing a very powerful card from your opponent too. Being able to hit the planeswalkers on the side too is just so clutch. It helps close out the game somewhat quickly when you don't want him to drag out infinitely against certain opponents like Simic Ramp. 3 of Wicked Wolf, the synergies you have with food and the fact that you get to target removal in a mono green deck is actually quite insane. So you gotta have at least a few of these guys in. They're just too good to take out key opponent cards like Mayhem Devil, Risen Reeves, even flyers like Rankle. It's just too valuable not to. I have 2 of Feasting Troll King. I consider maybe bringing that down to 1, but a 7/6 body with Trample and Recursion from himself alone, not to mention if you get a lot of extra foods out from your Gilded Goose or Trail of Crumbs. With Vigilance also, he's a creature that has to be answered from your opponent one way or the other, and even when they do answer him, he can come right back, you know, if he hit the board, especially with 3 foods. 2 of Vivian Arcbow Ranger. This is something where I consider potentially going up to 3. Vivian is just so good. Vivian lets you ping down a planeswalker or a creature of your choice. If you have a creature on the board that can deal its power high enough to kill it, plus being able to uptick for +1/+1 on a certain 1 creature or divided among 2. Plus they gain Trample until end of turn. Trample is very key to remember and can push through that last bit of damage you might need against those annoying Cauldron familiars that keep chump blocking you for days or whatever. 2 of the Great Henge. This is something once again that I debated on the exact number. Maybe 3 is the right answer. I don't know. I feel like Great Henge is your finisher, so I put it in as a 2 of, and it's powerful. If you get it on the board and you even get 1 creature to give you the draw, like, you're already getting so much insane value. Not to mention if you chain it off of a bunch of cheap creatures, Gilded Goose, Pelt Collector, Paradise Druid, and plus they get the +1/+1 counters, so they're becoming somewhat viable attackers at that point too. It's as good as a card as I expected it to be when I didn't get to play it when Oko was around. 2 of Trail of Crumbs. This is synergistic when you get up to the later parts of the game and you find yourself maybe with some food, you have some extra mana, but you didn't draw that creature that you needed. It can be another value draw engine, just like the Great Henge is. For lands, I have a total of 23. Could be considered to put 1 more in and maybe 1 less of your mana dorks. I only have 3 of the Castle Garenbrig. I actually only own 3. I don't know if I would put 4 in anyway. I have 2 of the Gingerbread Cabin. It's nice to occasionally get an extra food, but you don't want to have too many of these slow tap lands in your already kind of low land count deck. That could spell disaster, with certain cards requiring just such a high CMC, like the Feasting Troll King needing 7. So for sideboard option, obviously we're kind of weak to flyers in this deck, so 2 of Crawl Harpooner seems very nice. Especially if you got creatures in the graveyard, you can basically kill any flyer instantly. 4 of Shifting Ceratops. It's pretty obvious what decks you'll phase these in. Any of the blue decks you see running around, and they're quite rampant. Izzet Flash, Simic Ramp, etc. 2 of Return to Nature. When you need a little bit more of the artifact or enchantment hate against those decks that revolve around it primarily, Fires of Invention or Sacrifice food decks, that's when you put these guys in. I have 1 of Sorcerous Spyglass. I might consider trying to fit in a 2nd Sorcerous Spyglass too. They're just that crucial. Certain decks that run planeswalkers that are absolutely vital to win, like the Nissa for Simic Ramp, or to turn off the Witch's Oven for sacrifice decks. This is just really good to have. 1 of Grafdigger Cage is kind of like your silver bullet against some sort of weird graveyard recursion deck. 1 of Voracious Hydra. This is also something that I would potentially try and get up to maybe at least a 2 of option. They're just so versatile in that they're like the Wicked Wolves, except they might actually be a little bit better besides the indestructible clause. They have a little bit of flexibility as well. These just scale better than the Wicked Wolf, let's just put it that way. They can kill something of higher toughness, or they can also come in as with the double +1/+1 counter, so he can be a nasty threat on his own, especially with the trample. But yeah, I have 1 more Vivian, Champion of the Wilds, in the sideboard, so I think it's correct to only have 2 in the main and 1 in the side here. 1 of the Feasting Troll King in the sideboard. I might potentially consider getting rid of him for a Sorcerous Spyglass, but I have him in here now. 1 End Race Forerunners. is also an option that I might consider going up from 1 to 2 of. Maybe getting rid of the Feasting Troll King. He just allows so much burst damage out of nowhere in a mono green deck that if it catches your opponent off guard, it's usually game winning. He does 7 damage by himself with the trample, plus anything else on the board is getting +2/+2 trample. So it's usually nail in the coffin. And I have one of Nissa who shakes the world. You could potentially bump that up to 2 and get rid of something else. Nissa is obviously very good. Options like the Voracious Hydra lets you scale up basically infinitely. And plus you have greedy casting cost creatures like your Feasting Troll King, or all that additional mana to make food from a Gilded Goose each turn, etc. Or maybe you just chain like crazy with the Great Henge and you need all that mana. So that's a good option as well. I had fun with the mono green Stompy deck as much as I thought I would, and I'm probably going to play a little bit more of it and do some more tweaks. I just wanted to make sure that I got this mono green deck out there for you today. You know, that little change for the Saturdays, I think overall is going to be a good one. If you like watching a random deck tech video every day, consider liking or subscribing. It really helps the channel. I make a video every day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Alright, so mono green Stompy, standard ranked. We're going against the ace himself, so let's cross our fingers here. Hey, starting with 3 in the hand, three lands with the Paradise Druid. That's really good ramp up to what we want to see here. Hey, there we go. So, it doesn't matter. I have 3 or 4 Thrashing Bronodons main board, so I would like to see some of them anytime soon. Starting next turn, I can start putting the big bodies on the board. Mono green sacrifice food. Ah, there we go. It's Jund. It is old Jundo. And I say we just start grinding out damage. How about you? How about you? He's gaining life here with the Witch's Oven, the Trail of Crumbs. That's the only thing he has going for him. So let's see what we can do about that. Okay. So she thought her whole turn was worth killing a Paradise Druid. I tend to disagree. I tend to, very much so, disagree. Oh. And he's going to be upset that I get rid of his Witch's Oven. Is it Witch Oven or is it Trail of Crumbs? Or do I wait? I wait. I wait to see what he has first. What does he try and play? And while it's on the stack, I can make a decision. But this is not looking good for him from this angle. He could Murderous. Alright, let him target. Right, so we're gonna get rid of the witches. That's what gives him the food. Alright, so 3. Yeah. This looks like the play to me. Looks like a good play. Down to 7. Shocked it in. 6. Casualties of war. Alright, so 1. We'll do this. God! The Goose! I'm just so eager to win. That was supposed to be a... I played that specifically to make food. Oh my gosh. What do we got here? Yeah, food. Alright, so... 1, 2, 3, 4. Just stinks. I'm even 1 off because of that stupid shenanigan I pulled. There's my food. There. Is he gonna heal now? Okay. So this should be GG. Yeah. No! Of course his last card was a freaking cat. Hey, there we go. Hey, there's the food. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Woo! Sure, whatever. Fight. And do this. There we go. Alright, so yeah, that Casualties of War sent me back a bit, but not enough. So now he has to get rid of 2 things this turn, and it is not possible. Castle Lock Thwain, save him. What could he have, right? So he's tapping down to 4. 3, 4, 5. Never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, like I said. All right. Ace. Even though I misplayed. So we're going against the shenanigans, right? Return to Nature seems really good. Sorceress, Spyglass, yeah. End Raise to push that damage through. And all right, those look good. What do I take out? I think Feasting Troll King is just too slow here. 2 less Love Struck. And 1 less Pelt, 1 less Love Struck. Yeah. Okay, we're on the draw here. 2 lands only. But with some early game plays, I'm feeling a little bit like this is okay. He mulled down to 6. He did not shock it in. I tell you what, I'm gonna ginger. Nah. Alright, fine. You made me do it. Pelt Collector first round. And then I can castle Garen Brig to Paradise Druid. Oh, this is even better. Look at this. Yeah. Alright, so now we're pumping him up. Next turn could Love Struck to make the Pelt Collector a 3/3. Ooh, actually I could Questing Beast. That looks like the play. He has 2 mana. What's he gonna do with the 2, huh? We're gonna do this, and this is gonna be a little bit mean. You could have Noxious Grasp, right? Noxious Grasp is scary, but if he dies, right, Pelt Collector goes up to a 4/4 anyways, and he blew through his main form of single target removal. We already have him down to 11. If he gets rid of the Questing Beast, we have another one. Haste on a green creature is so strong. If you have a Thrashing Bronodon, I wish I had a Wicked Wolf right now. Or 1 Fast Cast Land. Fast Cast Land or Wicked Wolf. Oh, he's trying to kill the Paradise Druid. Look at that. He is so scared. Okay. How do I want to do this? Let me push through. Let me see what he does. If he wants to trade 1 for 1 on the Mayhem, that's Gucci. If he wants to take 7 to the face, okay. So now what we're gonna do is get our land back, and we're gonna get both. He is not at the point of Casualties of War. He's at least 1 turn off, and we're starting to threaten lethal here. Not quite, but almost. I guess with Vivian, technically, could be threatening lethal. Maybe it's Questing or Murderous Rider. Murderous Rider goes down to 6, but little does he know, right? Little does he know. little. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 total. I think the play is just to keep pushing, and I will. I'm gonna push with all of it. All of it. So what are your trades gonna be? Cauldron for... Sure. Keeping the 1/1 alive is... I mean, I have my 5/5 about to come down, so... And he has to have something to answer the questing beast here. If it's casualties of war, he blows his entire turn on it. If it's Corvold, that's also pretty spooky, but we know he's going to die, so he drew 1 card for Corvold. Oh, fam. Look at this clutchness. Look at this clutchness. Do not have a casualties of war, you big meanie. Do not. Oh, do not have a casualties. I think he might have the casualty, but he doesn't have the land at this point. But we're about to get value. We are. Really all we're waiting for is that last questing beast to finish everything off. Alright, no, he didn't care about the casualties as much here. Questing beast top deck? No. Well, oh, of course he has 2 of them. Of course he has 2 of them, right? So here we go. 3, yeah. Let's play this first. Let's just get the ball rolling here with the Henge of Greatness. Oh, here we go. Ooh. But I think the play here is to start getting rid of these old ovens. These old ovens, right? Yeah. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually perfect. This is actually perfect. Oh, this is mean. This is dirty to him. And, yeah. The question becomes... non-token creature. Okay. So I could... But do I threaten lethal at this point, right? Do I threaten lethal? Alright, let's get rid of it. So he can do his thing. I have the 1/1 just chilling. And I'm going to try and keep it that way. Because Lovestruck Beast is going to be infinitely useless here if I don't keep that 1/1 alive. Right. So let's see what his last card here is. Oh, I didn't know his eye blinks. Squish, squish sound. That's kind of cool. I know the golden egg one from the 12-win event. It shines when you go over it. And the Chandra one from the Mastery Pass. Last Mastery Pass glows or sparkles. So he shocked in a 6th land. I wonder what it could be. Well, it's not a casualties. Alright. It is not. So the problem he has is that I have insane value with these guys. Insane value. So let's just start seeing what we get. Seeing what we get. I'm looking for that questing beastie. Ooh. Questing beast, where are you? Nowhere to be found, apparently. Mega bummer. There's my trail of crumbs. What's up? Alright. So he has to, yeah, start sacking everybody. So the Murderous Rider and the Cauldron will fake block, will pump block. Oh, he got me with another Murderous. Alright, so Ace 1v1, who's procrastinating for years. Let's do this, fam. Alright. So I don't get any damage through, but he goes down to 1. Basically, I need to get one of my creatures through. He has to have a Casualties of War or like another Corvold, or he is in uber trouble. Like, he's drawing the Clutch, Murderous Riders, and the double Witch's Oven. So he's getting some good cards. He's not like getting completely screwed here, but he's also not getting yeah, he's so low. He's so scared. Cool. Let's chain into some creatures. Let's go. Let's go. Let's chain into some creatures, I said. Resolve, pay 1. Questing Beast, you can still make my day right here. Right here. We're getting low. Oh, here we go. Last chance, last turn for Ace Hood. You ready? Let's go. So what 3 creatures, well, technically what 2, does he want to die? So he knows this is it. This is the final draw of them all. And he's not going to get it. End raise 4 runners. G. On a Green Stompy. Done. Sack. Get wrecked.